Are we going live? We're live on the other platforms. And oops, no, we want to do this. Hello, Jamal. Hello, I see people joining in. Okay, let me go this way. I have my mic now in the middle. We have Dama Preziosa from Italy. Ciao. We have Jamal. We have Fitzcoolio. Okay, good. Now you can see my messy studio. You can see Florian, and we are live. This is our 4th episode of Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle with Fit Vegans. And I'm here with Florian, who, if you've been tuning in, you know by now, he is the founder of Fit Vegans. Hi, Florian.
Hey, Lucia, good to be here. Right, it's always a pleasure to be talking to you on Sunday morning.
I'm loving Sundays with Florian.
And very much enjoying them as well.
We're getting great feedback. People are loving what we're talking about, our topics, and they're loving, but we need people to start booking with Florian, because you're all telling me that you want to be healthy vegans. You want to be healthy. You keep seeing the results of my work with Florian for the past few months, which are visible on red carpet in person. So we need you to book with Florian so that you can also feel as great as I've been feeling. Florian, do you want to give before we get into our topics, we have some really interesting topics. Do you want to give a brief intro for newcomers and a recap of what Fit Vegans is about for people who've been tuning in?
Yeah, of course. So kind of the relevant background there is that we've been working together with Lucia over the last few months, right? We helped Lucia get in wonderful kind of red carpet shape over the last few months. Lucia looks amazing. The quick history back there is that, Lucia, very private topic. She's a breast cancer survivor. So we do work with people with very, very individual situations. We also normally do not shy back from kind of health situations, although we're not doctors. We try to make it as individualized, as customized to your specific situation. We've helped 300 plus vegans from 24 countries. And the whole premise of what we're doing is that we help vegans get in shape quickly and sustainably, even if they feel that they've tried almost everything before. Right? That's kind of our specialty. So, yep, that's a quick background to me and what I'm doing.
I'm going full screen here. There we go. Okay. So as Florian said, I started working with him because I was in recovery from breast cancer surgery, radiotherapy, and then I was starting a medication that is preventing, the type of cancer, the type of breast cancer I had was estrogen based. So I'm on a medication that is preventing that. It's blocking, it's an estrogen blocker. So that medication has side effects like weight gain and others. So during my treatment, during my radiotherapy, I was saying, I don't know if I told you this, Florian, but I was telling my healthcare providers that I really wanted to lose weight because I was not obese. I've never been overweight, but for me, I was fat. And I've said this before, I was getting so much fat under my arms. You can't see now, but it's like I can feel the muscle, the curve of the muscle now. It was really padded with inches of fat. And, I had breast cancer on the left side. So I was like, trying to figure out why did I get cancer, right? Not feeling guilty or blaming myself or whatever, but, we want to take care of our bodies. So I was trying to figure out, how can I prevent this from coming back? So I was actually advised to not lose weight during radiotherapy and perhaps to even gain weight because of the effects. So I was like, all right, I can't wait till this is over so that I can finally, get in shape and lose weight. Florian and I had been in contact. We'd been in contact on various social media platforms for, I think, maybe months or at least a year by that point. So finally, and I've said this before, I loved your gentle way. You're not, but you should get with me. You were just like, we've been connected. It's nice to be in touch. And I was like, all right, great. Let me see what this gentle, fit vegan is about. So we talked, we had the 15-minute consultation, the free 15 minutes. And I think I talked to you for longer than that. But on the spot, I decided that your program, Fit Vegans, would be right for me. And it has been one of the best choices I've made in my entire life. I have not looked or felt this way in decades. I have ab muscles that I don't think I've ever had, even when I was in my best shape. So this being Lucia's vegan lifestyle, and the purpose of Lucia's vegan lifestyle being to share how I live as a vegan, I really wanted to bring this to my followers, bring Florian and Fit Vegans to my followers, so that you can also get in optimal shape for a lifetime. So, hi, Roberto. So the topics for today, we've had such great subject matter the past few weeks. This is our 4th episode. So we have a surprise special offer, which you can see at the bottom of the screen. The link, we'll explain that to you in a little while. But let me tell you today's topics, because I want to get into our conversation. So our 3 topics for today are the holistic approach, working with Florian and Fit Vegans versus working with your trainer at the gym. The second topic is setting yourself up for a lifetime of health, working with Florian versus subscribing to quote unquote diet programs, and accountability, working with Florian and Fit Vegans versus dieting with a friend. So I've done all of these things, and I'm really excited to share with you and for Florian, to tell everybody the difference on all of these. Let's start with the first topic, which is the holistic approach, working with you and your Fit Vegans program versus working with a trainer at the gym and saying, I have the food part down. So
good question and good topic to talk about. So it's a good question, because most of the clients that we do work with, and again, I've kind of mentioned this before, they feel that they've tried almost everything before. Mm-hmm. It's almost like Fit Vegans is like, the last shop at the last round, the last road at the last town, right? So if you've tried almost everything before, you kind of see what this guy on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or a live stream is all about, to see if he might be able to help you get your shape out in, right? Mm-hmm. I think it doesn't need to be the last road or last shop on town, because I think it's actually better than, let's say, a personal trainer, a gym, or a nutritionist that is out there. Mm-hmm. Let me quickly outline kind of what is different. So I think the personal trainer might be the best kind of possible comparison to make with what we are doing. This is a bit of a probably damaging admission to make, is that if you have a personal trainer close to you that is very, very competent and is a vegan personal trainer as well, and knows a lot about nutrition and habit change, then that is the best way to go forward, right? If you have a very, very competent personal trainer next to you that is specialized in vegans, knows about habit changes as well, and knows about the nutrition aspect, then that is the way to go forward, right? However, if you don't have this, which is 99.999% of the population, right? Because most of the people close by are either non-vegan, which means that the principles do not really apply to you in the same extent that it will apply to the other person, right? And you want to, especially when you want to get in shape, you really want to have a person in your corner that understands and aligns with your core values and mission in life.
Exactly.
Right? Because getting in shape, no matter kind of the best strategy that you follow, is always going to be a marathon. And you don't want to kind of like 1-2 months in, the person's kind of like, hey, yeah, I should have some fish in your nutrition. Right? Mm-hmm. Just have a little bit of chicken, or just eggs is vegan, right? And that is a little bit of a pain in the rear in times when you feel like, hey, look, I just want everything to be going smooth because the change is difficult to become a fit vegan, right? Now, it's easier if you have professionals on your side, but it's still a difficult change to make, right? Hence why a lot of people have not done it so far, right? So that is kind of the first thing that is different, is that we understand what you're going through. The second thing that is different between Fit Vegans and a local personal trainer is that we usually get people there quicker. And we get people there quicker because the number one goal that people usually have is losing fat. There's some percentage of people that we work with that have performance goals. They want to run a marathon, ultra marathon, but we don't kind of specifically specialize it in that. We do help these people as well. There's people that want to build muscle, but 80% plus of the people that we work with and most personal trainers, they want to lose fat, right? And usually we get people there quicker because the number one biggest lever to change or the biggest lever to pull in the kind of goal achievement process is not the exercise aspect. It's the nutrition. The nutrition will give you 80% of the results when it comes to fat loss, and only 20% will be due to exercise. You simply cannot outtrain a bad diet. That's why with people, when people do work with personal trainers, it's kind of a long, tough, hard road to get the goals dialed in, and afterwards it's not sustainable because it's very hard to sustain kind of 6 times per week, 1 hour per day, right? And kind of, yes, you need that kick in the butt, but I think what you need first and foremost is a great system and a great strategy that works for your unique situation that will encompass nutrition. And the reason kind of nutrition is the missing link, because it's much easier to take the calories in or to take the energy into your nutrition than to expend it through the exercise, right? That's why nutrition is a crucial component. The last thing that is different, we talked about the vegan kind of thing that we do, or the vegan ninjas that we are. We talked about kind of the quickness of results, or the kind of the speed of results. And the last thing is the sustainability aspect, which is different in what we are doing, let's say, to a local personal trainer. Yeah. Most people in general are very much specialists on what they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. If you talk with an electrical engineer will know a lot about electrical engineering, will not know that much about, let's say, software development, right? Same thing with personal trainers especially, right? So if you talk with a personal trainer will be really, really good at exercise. Planning your exercise schedule. Will not be very good at nutrition. Will not be very good at the third thing, which is behavioral change. Right. Because for you to get that sustainable lifestyle change, which is required for you to maintain the results for the long term, right? Because you not only need to do new behaviors to get the results, you also need to maintain the behaviors and kind of the habits, right? So you can maintain them for the long term. A behavioral change is required. And the personal trainer is not really focusing on that. If you ever seen how a personal trainer works, it's kind of like, it's usually per hour, right? Or per week, or it's per month, or it's kind of like, they have a certain kind of hours of package. And the main incentive for a personal trainer is to be kind of working with you and billing kind of you indefinitely. And there's no incentive for sustainable habit change. The way we like to work with our clients is that we usually work with a 6-month time period. The reason we work with a 6-month time period, because that is what is required to turn the behaviors into habits and then into a new identity, meaning you can do the new behaviors without having to constantly think about this, right? So it's become second nature. The way I usually outline this is when I have a person, when I talk with a person, because it's usually when you haven't achieved the results, it's very hard for you to kind of imagine how would life look like if I would be in shape, right? But I usually ask them questions like, if you go on vacation, are you still vegan? And the question or the answer is usually, an emphatic, of course, of course I would be still vegan. All right. So then in the future, right, when you go on vacation, I'll ask you, will you kind of still do the exercise or nutrition changes required? The answer should be, of course, because your identity has changed, right? Same as if I would have asked kind of past Florian, kind of 10 years ago before I went vegan, hey, Florian, if you go on vacation, would you be vegan? Of course not, right? You crazy? Right. So, but now I've changed. I've become a vegan. I've become a fit vegan in the process as well. So never underestimate the extent to which you can improve for the better. Right. So there's a third thing that is different in what we're doing in the sustainability aspect, in that the people we work with, we want to make sure that we can maintain these results for the long term. Right. And the only way we can do that is by talking about behavioral change and focusing on a system that works for the individual situation, so the person can actually maintain the results for the long term. Right. So that is kind of what differentiates us from the other options that are out there.
Yeah. I love, that is one of the essential reasons. I mean, so many, you being an ethical vegan, and I really wanted change forever for the rest of my life. And I knew that it needed to be sustainable. I know myself very well. I know that I can make changes, but I know that I wanted this to be something that I couldn't do anywhere, right? Travel, like you said, if I'm traveling, I'm still vegan. If I'm traveling, I still want to be a fit vegan. So I wanted what you did for me personally to personalize the program for me is you developed even an exercise program for me that I can do anywhere. That I love going to the gym. I love swimming. I love basketball, but I do need a workout that I can do no matter with my busy production schedule and no matter where I am in the world. And you did that for me. And the 6-month mark is really, we've been working to there is maybe it's 7 months now, right? Because this is our 4th episode of this. So we started this at my 6-month mark. And it's really right what you're saying, that 6-month mark is like, it's kind of the, you kind of surmount, you go over the hump. For me, it was a kind of, it was like the magic kind of happened. Like it all kind of kicked in, all the work that I'd done kicked in. And now it's like automatic. The voices in my head, right? The positive voices, even things like, oh, you can eat that chocolate cake and then work out extra tomorrow. And I'm like, you're not going to work out extra tomorrow. So you're not going to eat that cake because exactly what you said about it, it's easier to take in the calories than it is to expend them during exercise. One thing that comes to mind also is I love that you also are rewards based, right? Like one of the questions you asked me and you asked your clients at the beginning is, what are your goals, right? Which is so important to write them down, to list them. And because then when you do list them, right, write them down, either handwritten or typed, you've kind of ingrained it in your mind, right? So you set some goals. And then I was like, for a minute, I was like, when I lose, 20 pounds, I'm going to eat an entire pizza. And I was like, no, you won't. Because that's also right. It's kind of, people talk about cheat days, and I never liked that. I never liked the cheat day thing because I always think exactly what you're thinking, that if you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of health, you want to reward yourself with something that is not diminishing what you've worked for, right? That's enhancing and actually rewarding what you've done. So you don't want to detract from that by a cheat day. So, and people have also asked, as a vegan, do you cheat and sometimes eat meat? I'm like, that's not cheating. That's actually, that's going to
no.
space.
Not on my watch. Right.
So shall we move to the second point? Does anyone have any questions? We've talked about a lot in this first topic, which was, if you're just joining in now, the first topic of today's live stream is the holistic approach, working with Florian versus working with a trainer at your gym. So if you were watching, do you have any questions? Please add them in the comments. And I think there's a question button that you can hit if you want to, call attention to your question. I don't see any comments, just waves. Hello, and thank you all for tuning in. Let's move on to the second topic today, which is setting yourself up for a lifetime of health, working with Florian versus subscribing to diet programs.
All right, so that is a very kind of broad topic, right? Yeah. I think to set yourself up for life, what needs to be in place is certainly behavior change. Right? It's what we talked about before. Is you can't go around focusing on the behaviors, so that, and getting the sum total of the behavior, so they turn into the habits and they turn into that new identity of yours. There's simply no way around that, right? There's no way kind of to hack yourself into all of this, right? If it would be, everyone would be in wonderful shape, right? If it would be something that is super easy to do, everyone would be in super, super wonderful shape. But if it's exactly the difficulty that makes it worthwhile, right? Because if it would be easy, everyone would get it. There's nothing special, right? You do not admire a person who has a sink in their home or a shower, because everyone has it and it's easy to install,
Almost everybody.
right?
There are people.
Almost everyone.
But
Almost
we
everyone. Yeah,
wouldn't be talking about this topic if we didn't.
yeah. I mean, it's like, let's say Western countries, right? And yeah. So I think everyone get that it was not kind of meant to kind of bash third world countries. Hopefully,
I've got
right?
to explain the comedy sometimes. The comedy. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like there's a guy commenting like Florian is racist because some third world countries do not have a shower. Right? It's not what I meant, guys. It's not what I meant. Right. So and now what I want to get across, right, is that usually it is, I wouldn't say it's as difficult as the things that we're doing anyway. Right. I wouldn't say it's as difficult as pregnancy or childbirth. Right. I wouldn't say it's as difficult as learning to walk as a child, but there's a news flash here. If things are important for you, we kind of find a way to do it. Right. So and also it's I would say it's probably as difficult as becoming vegan. Right. I mean, if you look at the general population, 0.5 to 2% of the general population is vegan. And if you look at the general population that is in the body fat percentage range of a six pack, it's about 2%. Right. So it's about the percentage there is quite similar. And it doesn't mean that kind of all vegans are in wonderful shape. And that's why we are here. Right. So to make sure as many vegans as possible are in wonderful shape and kind of have that kind of lifetime of being in wonderful shape. Right. Now, there's not a guarantee that you will be in lifetime wonderful shape, but we can strongly increase the odds by having a nice system in place, by having the accountability, and by having kind of a clear process and clear roadmap that you can follow. So, and kind of so you know what to do, and you also do what you know that you're supposed to do, and you do what you should do, so the goals are achieved. So that is kind of the most important thing, is kind of the behavior change to make sure that you have the lifetime of success. And I think we all intuitively know that, but I think we all still kind of cling to the old belief that somehow there is a hack, there's a shortcut to all of this, right? And you see all of this kind of people that do kind of that stomach surgery. I think it's called bariatric surgery, or liposuction. If the habits are not changed, this is going to be a reoccurring process, right? Because bariatric surgery or liposuction is almost like bariatric surgery, especially. They're kind of shrinking the size of your stomach. It's almost like enforcing a diet, just with all the kind of negative side effects that come along with it, meaning inefficient micronutrient absorption in the future, tons of recovery time, and pain that you wouldn't have to have. Right. So it's like, there are quote unquote shortcuts available, but these are only shortcuts in the short term. These are not shortcuts in the long term. Right. And if you want to become a fit vegan, and if you want to have kind of the results sustainable, the only way you can really have the results sustainable is if you become the person that really deserves these results in a sustainable way. Right. And that is the hard news of all of this. And for that, kind of the behavior change needs to get dialed in. You need to do the behaviors required so you can see the results. And that's where we usually do come in. So the behavior change is crucial. The lifestyle change to get you to the desired position. And again, if you're kind of watching this video right now, and I think there's no way I could ever change, and if you're vegan, then let me ask you, how did you think about veganism before you became vegan? It probably was the same thinking. I could never go vegan. I would be deficient in protein. I need to enjoy my life by eating chicken breast. And then once you become vegan, you go, oh, tofu is quite nice, right? Or like, oh, those fake meats are quite nice. And I basically, the life quality is higher or same. Right, I would say higher as a vegan than as an omni, and I would say the life quality as a fit vegan is higher as that of a vegan. Yeah. Right, because of obvious reasons. You have more energy, you're less lethargic, you're overall kind of, when you look in the mirror, you're like, damn, that looks quite nice. Right, it's easier to find a partner, it's easier to maintain a partner, it's easier in your career. There's no rational reason to not be in wonderful shape. Right, and the only reason that is not kind of widely known is that kind of most of us delude ourselves into thinking that, somehow our current situation is good enough. But good is the enemy of the great. And if you want to have exceptional results, and if you want to have an extraordinary quality of life, you have to kind of sacrifice the good enough for the great. Right. And that is often the hard part. The hard part is not going from kind of bad to good. The hard part is usually going from, it's kind of okay, but I know that there's more. Right. So, yeah, that is kind of how you set yourself up for a lifetime of success.
Yeah. You know what? I think for me, because I've been vegan so long, I went vegetarian when I was 12, and I've been vegan since 1996. So, I always think, okay, because of what you said, the difficulty of going vegan, not for me, it wasn't going vegan itself, it was being vegan in the world, right? Which for me is, I don't even think about it. This is what I am. It's my normal. It should be normal for the entire planet, right? For all different reasons. So when I started working with you, I didn't think of it as a hardship. I thought of it as kind of, readjusting. A friend of mine who was on the TV show, on Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle, the TV show, who's an activist, a vegan activist, she said, and I love this, she said, why is it hard to go vegan? All you have to do is switch brands, right? If you're buying toothpaste, just buy a toothpaste that's vegan. If you're buying bacon, buy bacon that's vegan. It's easy. You just switch brands. People switch brands all the time. And I also mentioned last week that I have a friend who's she's gorgeous, in beautiful shape. And I was like, oh, what do you do? What's your secret? Years ago. And she said, I measure all my portions. I was like, oh God, no, I'll never do that. So there was one of the nevers. And now, right, we hit this, you talked about the 6 working together and changing the habits over 6 months. Now at our 7th month mark, my thinking is already rewired, because I'll go and measure. The other day I was measuring my pasta, and I talk about pasta all the time. I've been eating more pasta since we worked together because I've learned portions, right, and servings. So I measured out my pasta just with my bare eye the other day, and it was like the exact grams of the serving. So I'm loving, your brain is rewires so that you can have this lifetime of healthy eating. So, and then, when you start seeing the results, like you said, I studied sculpture for a while, and it was amazing to see, first when you do sculpture, clay sculpture, I'm talking about, you build an armature, right, which has got a wire base, because you have to stick the clay on. So you have to have a general form. If you're doing let's say the human figure, you have to have a general form to, for the clay to adhere to, like a skeleton. And it's miraculous to see, right? Even when you're doing it yourself or watching other sculptors, watching a sculptor, to see this clay take form, right, into a human form. So it's the same thing with working with you with this program. I can't stop looking in the mirror. Like months ago, maybe a year ago, I saved photos of models, right? Some photos of models in my phone album to remind me of the body, what I want to look like. So I keep looking in the mirror now as if it's someone else's body, going, oh, that's what I want my body to look like. And it's mine.
Good.
So the more I'm like, the more I'm like doing this, I'm actually loving crunches and push-ups, which I've never done in my life. I'm loving my push-ups because I know what's going to happen. I know that my body is going to be more and more beautiful the way I want it. And just to deviate briefly before we go into the next topic, is that you were talking about a longer, healthy life as a vegan, right? If people are just tuning in, I started working with Florian because I was recovering from breast cancer and the surgery and the treatment. But being vegan, having been, a healthy vegan all of this time, or just vegan, really helped. I think the growth of the cancer, I really lucked out. It was very small. And my recovery time, I know there are people who are, I'm going to get emotional, who are much less fortunate than I've been. But I think also my good fortune is in large part due to the lifestyle that I was living previously. And now, my recovery time has been incredible. From a fat woman with cancer to someone. I don't know if everyone has seen I was at a red carpet event a couple of weeks ago, and I'm marveling myself at, how my arm muscles are developed, and, the shoulders are defined. My shoulders were getting, I should show you guys, my shoulders were getting just kind of like, shapeless. And I would touch myself and go, this is not your body. This is not, because I've always been athletic and done dance, studied dance my entire life. And I was like, this is not my body. So now I'm feeling the muscles there and seeing them. And I'm just so, I'm loving even aging, because I'm going to be like a 75-year-old walking around in crop tops. So if you guys need more convincing to work with Florian, actually, Florian, before we go to the third topic, should we announce our special offer now or wait till the end?
I think we might as well announce it just now. We don't want to keep people waiting too much, right? So let me so we have a link there below in the live stream, right? Lucia.fitvegans.com. And what this is a special offer for all of you, right? What you have there is you have 100 free copies of my ebook, The Fit Vegan Secret. Right, that was an ebook that originally sold for $19.95. It was featured in 2 nationwide Happy Cow campaigns, and so far 10,000 plus people have downloaded it. Right, so if you click on lucia.fitvegans.com, and if you're lucky to be one of the quickest ones, right, to get it, you are the ones who will get a free copy of The Fit Vegan Secrets. All right, so do it right now, and it's just for kind of Lucia audience there. So feel free to do that right now, and you will get your free copy of The Fit Vegan Secrets. That is the special offer, and hope you guys do enjoy it. And The Fit Vegan Secrets is just kind of what you would expect, right? It's largely kind of not necessarily tactics and techniques. It's in there as well, right? But usually people do fail not because they're tactics and techniques, but here, right? It's all about the mindset and the view on the kind of health and fitness endeavor that you're embark. And I like what your kind of friend said there before, Lucia. She said, going vegan is not hard. It's just you have to buy different brands. And, I usually say that getting in shape as a vegan is about as difficult as you make your mind up to be. And if it's a process of it's a self-loving process, right? And if you move towards something which is more energy, kind of a sculpture-like appearance, right? Or look in the mirror, just being proud of yourself, can look in picture and see wow, that's exactly how I would like to look like. Then it's a more fulfilling process. Instead you feeling that kind of getting in shape is something where you're punishing yourself, right? So it starts and ends here. And if that is kind of, I wouldn't say screwed on properly, because I think people are not in shape, are not kind of wrong in some kind of shape or kind of off base in their heads. But I think there's an improved way to think if your goal is to get in shape, right? And that's what I'm trying to get across there in the Fit Vegan Secrets.
Right, self-care. It's self-care Sunday. Yep. And that's how I always viewed it, right? You're caring for your body. We only have one. And of course, like you said, there are, I'm lucky that, with the breast cancer and everything, already being vegan and already being a quote unquote healthy vegan, it was, modifying things. But, it's self, I love that. I love that, looking at it like that, because that's exactly what it is. Self-love and self-care. So, yeah. Oh, and I love having this exclusive. So lucia.fitvegans.com. I pinned it on, if you're watching on Instagram, I pinned it there, and I'll pin it on YouTube. And then after the, sorry, there we go. It's pinned on YouTube now in the comments. And after we're done here, I'll go back into the other platforms and place it there for you as well. But it's easy. If you can remember Lucia, fitvegans, and .com, you got it. So, and then when you do download it, let me know, let us know, post something about it, and tag Fit Vegans and Florian and Lucia Vegan Lifestyle, so that we know that this is working. We know that our conversations yes, are giving you great information, but that they're actually actively helping you. So let us know. And then I'll repost you. So it'll be great. Let's move on to our third topic of the day, which is, whoop, sorry, so many notes. Okay, there we go. The third, which you brought up briefly in during our last topic, the third and a very important aspect of this is accountability. Working with Florian versus dieting with a friend.
That's a good question there. So let's talk about what accountability means, right? Accountability often means, and I don't know the accurate definition of accountability, so shame on me. But the way I interpret accountability is often helping you do what you know that you should do, right? Or do what you know that you're not supposed to do, but kind of do the behaviors required to get you to the desired situation that you want to go, right? So accountability is often the bridge between mere wanting to do something and actually achieving, between wishing and dreaming and actually doing, right? That's where accountability does come in, right? Because it helps you kind of do what you know that you should do. And there's a wide variety of things for us to kind of be able for you to do the behaviors which you kind of set out for yourself, right? That's where the accountability does come in. Now, what is the difference between working with a coach when it comes to accountability versus working with a friend that might help you with the accountability aspect? I think often, sometimes it's a friend, and other times it's the partner, right? So I often get kind of like on the call. It's usually kind of women that tell me, they say, look, I'm together with a partner. He's trying to help me a little bit. It's not working out. But look, your partner is your partner, and your partner is not your coach. You have to keep those two roles separate, right? Because if not, it's not going to lead to a relationship partner. It's not a recipe for that, right? There's two absolutely different things. So you have to have a coach, which helps you with your health and fitness, and you have to have a partner, which kind of, or, you know, if you would like, you can have a partner which kind of supports in all the other aspects which partner does, partner do. Right, so that's kind of the difference between those two things. The same with your friend as well, right? Now, normally, I think having a friend that helps you kind of be accountable with your behaviors is not a bad idea, right? But the problem is usually the part of human nature is that we want to see others do good, but we never like if they do better than us, right? Which kind of sucks if you work together with a friend. And there's this all kind of is subconscious, right? This is ingrained in the human psyche. So the incentives when you work with a friend are not as aligned as the incentives when you do work with a coach. Because a coach is strongly incentivized for you to succeed. Because if you do succeed, first of all, his life is better because he gets a better track record, right? Then he gets the cool testimonials that he can display on his page. And just overall, kind of the work is more fun, right? If you have kind of people and if your clients actually see the results that they were kind of supposed to get, right? Versus with a friend, and usually in the beginning that will work well, often kind of second, third, fourth month, unless that's a super awesome friend, right? And those people are very, 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 very rare, right? But unless it's a super, super awesome friend, it's usually going to fall apart in second or third month, where one friend is kind of starting to skip the workouts, one friend is not going to eat as well, because again, the nutrition is as important as the eating, and the friend can't really kind of help you be accountable on the eating front too much, right? So one friend is going to skip the workouts, or one friend is kind of like, hey, look, you're kind of pushing yourself too much, right? And kind of trying to sabotage your process. So yes, this is not a very positive view of human nature, but if you study history, you kind of like, not in college, but if you just read a few books about history, you kind of adopt that viewpoint, right? So coach overall is a better kind of situation, just kind of working with your friend, because a coach, first of all, has seen your situation before. And life is all about pattern recognition. Kind of Jeff Bezos has this story when he was kind of studying physics, and he had this huge math problem that he couldn't solve, right? So he went on that math problem with his friend kind of like for hours. And after 4 or 5 hours, like, let's ask this guy in our dorm room, like if he has a solution for this, because this guy is the smartest guy in the dorm room. So he went over to this guy with his friend kind of in there as well. And he's like, do you know what the solution is to this math problem? We tried to solve this for 4 to 5 hours. The friend looked at it and said, it's cosine. right? And you're like, what? You had this in like 5 seconds? He's like, yeah, because I solved a similar problem like this before months ago, right? So it's pattern recognition. And the coach has this to some degree. Because yes, your situation is unique and is individual, but there's pattern recognition and the fundamental principles are often the same. Right? So that your friend usually does not have, because unless your friend is kind of helping people get in shape kind of sustainably and has done that for years, the service or kind of the help that you will get will just not be as good as that of a professional.
Yeah.
Right. So that is kind of the accountability. First of all, the incentives are better aligned if you do work with a coach. And the second thing is usually the coach has the pattern recognition. So he can kind of push you when you need pushing, and he can kind of help you slow down when you need slowing down.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
Yeah. And I love, let me see, I'm saying hi to people who are tuning in. Razbalok. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I need to get my new prescription. So even with my glasses, I can't see. But welcome. Thanks for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the topic of accountability. And Florian and I have been working together for now 7 months. And I've gotten in incredible shape. So we're talking about accountability, working with Florian versus dieting with a friend. I want to bring something up. It's very personal because I think the personal, subjective sometimes helps people. And since this is Lucia's vegan lifestyle, I'll share this with you guys. I tried to do this with a partner years ago who was obese. They were clinically obese, right? Which is what, 20 pounds overweight, Florian? Is obese?
Yeah. It depends also because of muscle mass. It's largely BMI over 30, right?
So I think women tend to be a little bit more forgiving. So I was like, whatever, I love him the way he is. He's still sexy to me. But he was starting to have, issues being attracted to me because I was gaining a little bit of weight. So we decided to diet together. However, it was fine for me because he was not vegan. I'm vegan. I love salads. I love eating healthy. So it was fine. However, at the end of a long work day, to kind of relax together and not have the pressure of cooking a meal and a healthy meal, we would order in. We would order in from our favorite Chinese restaurant, which, there was one, I think it was like scallion pancakes or something. So first of all, I'm eating fried rice with tofu, which is not the worst option, but is not the healthiest option. And we decided together to not ever order the scallion pancakes again. Well, he would want the scallion pancakes every time, and he would give me that, can we order that? And I would be like, no. We decided together to get in shape. I want you to be sexually attracted to me. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, and I want to have sex with you for the rest of my life. And I want you to only have sex with me for the rest of your life. So if you're not attracted to me, if we're eating these scallion pancakes, this is going to be the road to you losing attraction to me. And I don't want that to happen. Well, because of the puppy dog face and, we're in the moment and enjoying our meal together, I would give in. And how, he's enjoying the scallion pancakes, but I have to sit there and I have to be the one to be in shape while he's obese and I'm attracted to him, but he's not attracted to me because I'm not in shape. So I was like, excuse me, fuck it. I'm going to have scallion pancakes too. And that was like kind of the decline of setting ourselves up to get healthy together, or going to the gym together and he would skip or just sit around sipping his coffee while I was like, rowing away and trying to get in shape so this person would be attracted to me. And I realized, if I'm going to do this, it has to be for me and on my own. That was years ago when I never thought that I would work with someone like you. And, it's really literally been a life changer working with you. I want to also share with people that the specifics of your program, the specifics of Fit Vegans, of Florian's program, and the accountability aspect, which is our current and last topic for today, is that, one of the things that we do, part of, I'll call it the homework, and it's not tedious because you're learning about how you're caring for your body, right? You're learning about it so that you can change that and care for your body properly. So one of the things we do is enter everything that we're eating each day, which then Florian and Jack can see. Jack works with Florian, which Florian and Jack can look at and see what I'm doing. For example, if I was eating vegan mayo a lot, and you modified that and you said, look, you want good fat, you can get it another way. So let's switch this up, right? And it's like, already being vegan, we have to be creative. You don't have to, but for me it is. It's creative. Okay, so if I can't have vegan mayo and I want something creamy for my salad dressing, what do? So you find the healthier option. But that accountability, knowing for all right, this is kind of a silly thing. Florian, you see Florian, he and Jack are so handsome that I'm like, oh my God, these two handsome men are gonna see that I ate this shit food today. I don't want them seeing that. And I was like, Lucia, it's not even about them seeing it and you being embarrassed. It's about you knowing what you've put into your body, having set these health goals, and for me, wanting to prevent cancer recurrence, right? And to wearing crop tops when I'm 75 years old. But, it's accountability to yourself, but you have a professional helping you, watching gently, as I've said, Florian's approach is so gentle, watching and helping you change your brand. So this is a positive accountability that sets you up for a lifetime of optimal health.
I agree, and thanks for the nice words, Lucia. I can only give them back. So let me quickly outline how the accountability structure works there in our coaching program. So we do have two kind of layers of accountability, and by the way, that is in the future, right? You can think about the coaching program in the future because you only be kind of work with a select number of people. This is not a kind of coaching program where we sign up kind of 100 people every single day. This is more kind of custom, tailored and customized. First, grab the free ebook below. Right? It's completely free, costs $0. And then in the future, if you like what you're hearing there, we can think about the coaching, right? But let me quickly outline how the accountability there works. If kind of in the future or after reading the ebook, you think kind of like Florian's brain, let's see what else he has to offer. So in the accountability structure, we have two layers of accountability, right? First level of support, it's a little bit better word than accountability, is expert level support. The second level of support is peer-to-peer support. Let me quickly outline how both of these work. So the first layer of support is that during the entire 6 months, which is kind of duration that we like to work with clients, because that is what is required to turn the behaviors into habits, right, into the new lifestyle. The people that we work with, the awesome vegans that we work with, have instant message access to me and Jack. That is 365, 24/7, 7 days per week, even on weekends and on holidays. Right, you see, we have this call here on Sunday, right? So whenever you have a question, whenever you have something top of mind, whenever you go on vacation, whenever you have a week where you have more work, whenever you have a week where there's less work, you want your program to be changed, reach out to me, reach out to Jack, right? The program is updated within 24 hours. So the program works with your lifestyle, not against it, right? And you're not bothering me when you're reaching out, you're bothering me when you're not reaching out, because if you're not reaching out and think like, oh, Lucia is, I hope Lucia is doing well. Right, first layer of support. The clients that we work with have a very fast way to reach me. Second part of the first layer is while they have a very fast way to reach me, I also do have a very fast way to reach them. Right, so both me and Jack are looking over the progress of the people that we work with at least on a weekly basis. Right, and if you see that the person is going in the right direction, we tell them, hey, look, keep doing what you're doing. And if we see that kind of this week was not as optimal as it could be, we hold them accountable. We hold the clients accountable in a very positive way. This is not a boot camp, but we're not drill surgeons. We simply want you to do what you know that you're supposed to do so you can achieve your goals, right? So we reach out to the clients. We do this at least on a weekly basis. Some of our clients we're in contact with on a daily basis, right, to guarantee that they do what they know that they should do. First layer of support. The second layer, because we have a vegan focused program, right? We have the peer-to-peer support there, right? And that is there because, again, there's a common sentiment that as a vegan, you're vegan in a non-vegan world. If you're vegan, the 98 to 99.5% of the other population that is out there does not really understand your values or what you're standing for, right? So as a vegan, generally, depending on the location they live, of course, it's between 0.5 to 2% of the general population. So you're literally vegan in the non-vegan world. And on top of that, most of the vegans are not really that interested in their health and fitness, unfortunately. We're trying to change that, right? But still, a small digit percentile of most vegans are not, only a small digit percentile of most vegans are really have a growth mindset and want to be the best that they can be with their health and fitness, right? So we work with people that have kind of the subgroup of the subgroup, right? That are vegan and want to be exceptional in all areas of their life. So we do work with these people, and that is kind of a benefit for you or the person that would like to work with us, because the group that we have vegans all around the globe that think the same way as you think, same mission, goals, and values as you, right? Which gives you not only confirmation that you're going the right path, but also inspiration and motivation when you need it most, right? The pinnacle of our positive group network, we have a group, of course, and people mingle around, they share recipes, they share kind of where they're traveling to. But on top of that, what we also do have is a weekly group call every single Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, which I usually have after this call here, right? We have a weekly group call that happens every single Sunday on 10 a.m. Eastern time, goes for 1.5 hours, happens every single Sunday during the entire 6 months of us working together. The last, I think, 6 months or last 1 year, we missed once. Right, so we're very consistent with that. We have recordings available as well. So if you think right now, 10 a.m., I can't always make this, don't worry. There are recordings available. Right now, we have over a year of recording on our e-learning portal, almost 2 years. The e-learning portal we have as well. Nice bonus. And the Fit Vegan University, right? So we have a very extensive support structure to help you do what you know that you should do. And the support structure that we have is consisted of an expert level kind of support and a peer-to-peer support network. Right. And just think about kind of how exceptional the expert level support is. If you think about most of the kind of awesome vegan influencers that you would like to learn from, let's say Michael Greger, Dean Ornish, Dr. T, Colin Campbell, to get even an hour with these folks will cost you multiple grand. Mm-hmm. Right. And we have kind of continuous access where you're working with us for 6 months, you have constant access. Right. We do this so we help you do what you know that you should do in the program. Right. So that is how the support structure works.
Yeah, I love it. It's interesting because I've been on the group chats and, everybody, you share your successes. And then as vegans, we already have challenges. So you share the challenges, and then I love that this is solution based, right? Everyone is tuning in because you're watching us now, Florian and me, because you want results. You're not just watching just because you're bored. It's early and it's 8:30 a.m. on Eastern time on a Sunday. So if you're tuning in now, that's because you want something that will give you results for your life, for your health in your life and your body. So that's what I love about this program, is that it's solution. It's solution based in every aspect. So we're about up with time. So if you're watching on Instagram, you can see in the lower thirds at the bottom of the screen our special offer. Florian has created a special offer for those of you tuning in to this. If you go to lucia.fitvegans.com, you can have a copy of Florian's ebook. But it's limited to 100 people. So go there now. As soon as we're done, hit that. It's pinned on YouTube. It's pinned, and it's pinned on Instagram. So I'm going to go back to the other platforms and pin it there. So lucia.fitvegans.com. Thank you all for tuning in, and I wish you all optimal health. Florian, thank you again so much for this, for our lovely Sundays, and for helping me get in optimal health.
Thank you, Lucia. It's been a pleasure as usual.
Thanks. We'll see you next week. And let's go Let's end the broadcast on the other